Alright you guys, Graham J here. I've already kind of started on this and I think this is going to be a cool one. There's some videos on this already on the internet. The Horizon has one, Concept Z has one, and maybe a few others. But I'm going to be installing an oil cooler kit, specifically the Concept Z thermostatic 25 row kit on the G. Hey! Dude! He just touched oil. I'll be right back. Alright guys, sorry about that. Cat, I drained the oil. Cat had dipped his paw into it and then it got everywhere, so I had to go give him an emergency bath. So anyways, the dirty part of the job is over. I've drained the oil. That's kind of where I'm at. I still need to drain the oil filter, but I'm gonna wait till I get everything kind of mocked up. But here's where we're at right now. I've got the front bumper off. I actually broke a tab right here, and you guys might want to pay attention. There's a screw right here, screws all along the bottom, another screw right here, which you have to remove this to get access to, and then another screw right here. So you have to remove this to get access to the screw that's over here on the plastic part. So that's 2 on the top, 2 on the fenders, and then all around the bottom. And then the rest is just held on by clips, which clip in right there. So anyways, that's how I got the bumper off. If you need more detailed instructions, I'm sure I can help you there, but it was the first time I had ever taken it off, so I didn't do a step-by-step. But that's the bumper off. I've got the bumper LED fog lights just covered up because they were expensive. I got them at Diode Dynamics. So I just got those covered up for now. And then there's the sport bumper. This bumper's actually pretty clean. It has a respray on it that's not really doing so hot. But I've got an IPL bumper I'm going to put on. So this is actually going to be up for sale. If anybody is in Arkansas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, close by that may want to pick that up, I'll probably let it go for $400 or $500 with the fog light inserts in it. So anyways, so here we are. This is kind of where we're at. I've drained the oil. I've got a new crush washer in there and the oil pan is drained. I'm gonna wait to do the filter. Right now I'm gonna go grab the instructions. I've got the Concept Z kit right here, and from there we will see what's next. If anybody's interested in my little setup, it's just here in my garage. I got those lights everywhere. It's actually a really sweet setup, and then we'll be working on the car. This is one of the last mods that are going to happen to this car while it's naturally aspirated. Here's my exhaust. I've got some AAM high flow cats, made it up to the NVIDIA Gemini catback, and I freaking love it. Of course, I got that yellow or that copper silicone RTV all over the place to keep from any leaks happening, but it's a good setup. Sounds really good. So stay posted. We'll be back in just a minute. Alright, so here's where I decided to kind of set up my little workstation here. I've got the instructions, the cooler core itself, the lines, all of the essential brackets and hardware, and then the Loctite, the thread sealer. So this is kind of how it's going to start. The instructions come on Concept Z's website, and they're actually pretty detailed, so they'll tell you how to get to everything. This is for a 370, but after the bumper removal, it should be pretty similar to the G. So I'm going to get started here, and I'll keep you guys posted along the way. Here's the step I'm on. It says I need to attach the 10AN half-inch BSP adapter fittings to the Mocal sandwich plate. So I've got all that out right here. With that being said, I'm probably going to have to take the drain filter off, or the oil filter off now. Because I think this is going to go on right after. Yep, that's the next step. So let me get that done, get this put together, and I'll be back with you. Alright guys, well unfortunately I'm done for now. I don't have the proper socket to get everything on, or at least the sandwich plate, so I might actually just put the cooler up tonight and kind of make sure that that's sitting good and sound, and then go from there. So we'll see. I'm going to think about it, but all my tools are up at work, so I'm going to have to grab those tomorrow. Alright, so I'm just going to jump right into getting this cooler mounted to the chassis, or I guess that is the chassis. Anyways, the front portion of the car, I know that it's kind of dirty in here. I'm definitely going to clean that off when we go to boost the car. Right now I kind of just want to get the cooler on, make sure it's working, check for leaks, get all the lines routed. So let me get that done now, and we'll get everything set up. So tomorrow all we need is to get the thermostatic sandwich plate on, and then you know, kind of everything tightened up and ready to go. So right now it says I need to take this guy, use the 10mm bolts, and put the washer on the side where the cooler is going to sit, and get the cooler fastened to this thing pretty loose. And then I'll kind of size it up, get it mounted onto the car, and then go from there. So right now we're just going to set it up like that, and I'll be back with you. Alright, so here's what it should look like when you're done. These are locking nuts, so you don't have to put any Loctite on them. And I've got them tightened to about 18 foot-pounds on each side. Nothing crazy, but enough so that they won't go anywhere. So you've got the bolt, the rubber washer in between. Sorry. Bolt, rubber washer, and then the lock nut on top. So that's what it's going to look like, and we're going to kind of get it test fitted up and do the next part, which I think is getting that bracket right there onto the oil cooler at that point. And that's going to connect right up here. And so we'll mount this too down here. Alright, so the next step is to get the bracket on the cooler itself, and they supply this little rubber grommet style thing. I guess you can call it a grommet. Mine wasn't cut, so I had to cut down the middle. You place that here on the tabs, and then it goes up, and it should look like that. I cut mine a little uneven on the front portion of it, because that side's going to stick out and potentially hit that right there. So that's why I did that, just to kind of cushion it a little more. And again, they're all the way up. It's fine, no issues. The video they posted said put a little oil in this thing to kind of get it to slide on, and you should be good to go. I did leave this loosely fitting because the fitment here needs to be specific, because I've got AC lines right here where the cooler may impact if I'm not careful, and I'm not a fan of bending lines or anything, so I'm gonna leave that the way it is, and you know, fit that up and tighten it when it's on. So next step, I'm going to mount the cooler itself with the bracket onto the chassis, using these little holes right here. And the tools they give you for that are these. You can place those in there. They screw in like that, and it's all said and done. There's my little cat. Alright, I got those in. So now I'm going to get this on and loosely fit so that we can kind of make all the final adjustments and then get it secured. And then it shouldn't go anywhere after that. I'm debating on taking this off first, but I don't think I'm going to do that. But what I would like to do is maybe fill this guy up with oil before I put it on. So I'll let you know what I decide here in a minute, and we'll go from there. Alright, so here's how it mounted up. I got this tight. You can see that the kind of the spongy washer dampener is doing its job there, not making any noise. I did have to put some oil on that in order to get it on, and I'm confident I can get oil in it just the way it sits right here. I may take the bar off, but I'm a fan of working smarter, not harder. I don't want to do too much if I don't have to. I've got a funnel that'll make that easy to fill. So we'll just go from there. I don't have this one snugged up yet down here at the bottom. I am going to add some Loctite to those and get those secured, and then we'll go from there. But everything else is tight. This is sitting right where it needs to be. And then after that, we'll kind of figure out the routing scheme. You know, the instructions say that, you know, the tubing, or I guess the hoses, need to come up and around here, you know, behind this section, up and around, and then through this area down here. But the G looks different. It doesn't look like the Z, so I might have to route somewhere else. I think right back here there's a good spot. You can't really see it, but if I get back behind it over here, you can see potentially my hand. This is kind of tough. try and do it from here. Right there. You can see that opening right there? That's where my hand was. And then that'll allow me to run right there. That'll allow me to run it through and behind, and then right down there, out of the way. So we'll see. We'll take a look at it here in a minute. I'm going to get the core filled up with oil, get it secured, and figure out hose routing next. That way, once I'm ready and I have all the tools I need, I can literally just, you know, plug everything back up, get the sandwich plate on, fill it up, and check for leaks. That's kind of what I want to do. So let's go. All right, fairly painless. I have it filled with oil. It's secure. Clearance is good there. You can see it's not moving at all. I'm not worried about it coming into contact here at all. But for peace of mind, I may just add one more little sleeve here, just to peace of mind. You know, make sure it's good. Look, something like that, except over on this side. But I don't think this is going to move. I mean, I can't even shake this enough to get it to hit, so we should be fine. I filled it with oil. Fill it once it's in the car, and actually this crash bar helped me secure the funnel. So it worked out. It's full. I've got it closed up now, and if anyone's curious, that took about 3/4 of a quart of oil. So in the Infinity G, you usually have to fill it up with 5 plus, you know, 1/4 of a quart. So this should be enough to fill up the pan once we're ready to tighten everything back up and put it back together. I've always been curious, once this is in and it's run a few cycles and you've got it figured out and it comes time to change the oil again, how do you get everything out? Or do you not? Do you just change it like it's normal? The thermostat will be closed, and then fill it up, and then it'll just kind of recycle the dirty oil back through the system? Or what? You know, how is that done? Or is there a way to siphon the oil out of here? I'm sure there is, but you know, I'm not sure of the best or most pragmatic way to do it. I could see maybe pulling the hoses off, letting the hoses drain, and then pumping the oil out of here and refilling it that way. That's always an option. But once I've got the IPL bumper on this car, I'm not going to want to keep taking it off. I mean, that's a clean bumper. It's brand new, and I'd prefer, honestly, to never have to take it off again after this. We're going to get it ceramic coated in the full 9 yards. So I may just continually have to, you know, do oil changes at every 3,000 or something, just to make sure I'm keeping clean oil. But again, guys, this is not a daily. This is a weekend car. It's a have fun with your friends, go on car meets kind of car. It's only got 85,000 miles on it. Probably not going to put much more on it in the next year. So let me know your thoughts. And we're going to work on routing the hoses now, and we'll be back with you in a little bit. All right, so after, oh, hello. Hi, Spawn. His name's Spawny, short for Spanife. It's what my best friend's daughter named him, and that's what his name's gonna be. Anyway, so I've got the hoses kind of sized up. I think I want to run them behind, but I want to be careful when I do that, because I accidentally hit the radiator right there. It's not a big deal, but everything fits. I've got it routed from there right over the crash bar, which will be replaced by the intercooler, so we may have more room when the air-to-air kit gets here. Right through this little hole right here. You can't really see it from in here, or I guess you could. So it goes right from there down there, routed around the power steering lines, and then down into the undercarriage. So like I said, everything's just test fit now. I didn't really have any issues. Both lines are coming through over here just fine. I guess I'll get under here so we can see. So we've got both lines here ready for the sandwich plate. So we'll just wait until the sandwich plate comes, and then we'll get everything up, sealed, and check for leaks, and we'll go from there. All right, next day, another day. Got everything fitted, routed, secured. I was a little concerned about this fitment here or touching the radiator, but we got that solved. Everything's tightened and retightened, and you know, made sure we're we're sitting pretty. I've got everything zip tied. I will clip all the clippings, but I just wanted to tuck it out and away behind this core support, or this crash bar. So I've got that all done, routed through nicely here, and then right through there, and then attached to the frame right here. I'm probably going to do a couple of more zip ties back here just to secure it in place. I know it's probably not going anywhere, but you know, we'll see. I was concerned about this touching right here, but honestly this isn't moving, so I can't really see this being too much of an issue. And you can see that this is a real thick piece of metal here, so I do not think that that's going to cause any issues over time, but I will inspect again in the future and maybe further insulate that area, because I can still move it a little bit if I need to. But just looking at it, you know, I don't think it's going to cause any issues. This is pretty durable shielding. You can kind of see what it's made of right here. So it's kind of shielding plus insulation. So I'm not too concerned about that spot. Who knows, I may add some sort of bolstering now before I tighten everything up, but we'll see. But nonetheless, everything's looking good, you guys. So let me go ahead and get everything buttoned up, and oh, actually, let me show you how I ran them down here. This is G37 specific only, because the 370s are a little bit different. So I've got that thermostatic sandwich plate hooked up to these two lines. I've got clearance right here. I'll have to recheck the clearance when I drop the car, but I don't think it's going to be a factor. Let's get some light on those. So we've got clearance all the way through. And that's it. So everything's all nice and clear. There's no impact zone issues. This is solid, it's not moving. I've tightened it down. It says get this thing down to 25 foot-pounds. The torque wrench, the 1/2-inch drive torque wrench, and everything else up in here to try and get that done. That guy right there was really difficult. So I'm just gonna let it be. I got it as tight as I could. It's not moving, so I'm gonna fill it up and make sure it's not leaking, but you know, we'll just hope for the best here. So this isn't damaged, it's just I guess I did nick it a little bit. Should be fine though. Alright, we'll touch base in just a minute. Alright, filters on, tightened, snugged, good to go. So no clearance issues, no hose issues. Again, we'll see how the car sits when it's on the ground, but I think I left plenty of clearance for all this. So we will fill her up now and make sure there's no leaks and see if we're good to go. If this thing starts leaking, I'm just gonna leave the pan underneath the car and let it kind of leak out, drain it, and see if we can figure out where the leak's coming from. I hope that's not the case, but you know, we will see. Alright, so I think I've got everything ready. I was tempted to pull the fuel pump relay or fuse and see if, you know, I can get it to crank a few times to see if there are leaks. But I think what I'm going to do is go in, turn it over. I think I'm going to crank it, let it run for just a second, and turn it off, and then check for leaks. So I've got this thing right here. Car's jacked up, everything's good. I think if it's going to be leaking, we're going to know right away. So give it a go and just kick her up for a second. Actually, I think I want her resting on the jack stands. Okay. Should be good. Freaking dirty, so I'm trying to do this. clean. It's clean. It's pretty much a dry start, so I think we'll give it a pump and idle. I don't see any issues here, so here we go. These lights are not gonna do well wrapped up like that, so I'm just gonna take these out of here. Just let them hang. Okay. Let's try it again. It's looking good, guys, so I'm gonna let it idle, just make sure everything's good. I want that thermostat plate to open and I want the lines to fill. So we're gonna let it idle, have the lines fill. Once I feel heat in the lines, we'll check it out again. I'll do a couple of revs so you guys can hear the exhaust and make sure it's not leaking. I'm gonna do all that before I tighten it back up, but I may even let it sit overnight, retorque everything down and do it again. So I'll be back with you soon. All right, it's been idling for about 10 minutes now. Lines are warm. The lines are warm. Fittings are hot. I'm not seeing any leaking here. Everything's looking good. No leaking here. Everything's good. The cooler itself isn't leaking. It's getting hot though. It's getting real hot. And this is a thermostatic sandwich plate, so I'm not exactly sure. You know, it's supposed to open up at a certain temperature, and I believe it is, but it seemed like it opened up rather quick. Again, no leaks, no drips in the pan. I know I don't have the most cleanly work environment, but you know, I think we can call this one a success. Let's do a couple of revs and we'll close this one out. Alright, there's were a couple of revs there. Still want to check for leaks after revving. Hoses are still hot, we're still good. Alright guys, well I guess it's not a video without an actual, I guess, drive. So we've dropped the car, got all the wheels torqued down, everything's good. Still no leaks, and we managed to get everything on the ground and settled as far as suspension goes, and make sure that nothing's touching that shouldn't be touching, like I guess the oil cooler line to the sway bar. So aside from that, it feels good. So we're just gonna go a little spin around the neighborhood. I may switch the camera angle around so you guys can see the road and listen to the car, but this is where we're at. Everything's looking good. I don't know how much you're gonna be able to hear on the camera, but we'll see. So I'll get the lights on right now and we'll turn this view around. Just gonna go for a quick drive around the neighborhood, make sure everything's good, come back to the driveway. I'm gonna keep an eye on the driveway right there, make sure there's no puddles. I don't see anything. That looks like water from the AC, but I'm just gonna double check and make sure there isn't anything on the ground. I'll be right back. Okay, yep, just water from the condenser. Or from the AC system, one of the lines. So when I was backing out, it kind of got everywhere, but it's hot. So all right, so we're just gonna go for a cruise around the neighborhood. Nothing crazy, real nice and easy. I love this exhaust. I'm rocking the AAM to the NVIDIA catback, and it's just sublime. Not too loud, no rasp. All right, we're gonna check and see if it's still leaking, and then take it for a couple of rips down the actual street. All right, no leaks, we're good. Just gonna take it up the street real quick. I'm not gonna hit on it too hard because the instructions said make sure you check the level after the lines have opened from the thermostat. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hit it real quick and let you guys know what the results are. We're probably just gonna do a quick pull to like 3,000-4,000 in first, nothing crazy. Got a good pull, got the engine up to about 5,000. So we'll just, we'll go with that and see how it looks when we get back. Set it down, make sure it's still not leaking, check the levels, and then call this one done. All right guys, that's it. Install complete, everything went well. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I'm gonna get the car back in the garage, check the level after it's had about 10-15 minutes to cool down, make sure it's good, and we'll be good to go. So until later.